Hi everybody! So today I wanted to do a chatting about new releases video just because I did one of these like a few weeks ago. I like talking about new releases. Mostly it turns into more of like an anti-haul just because I usually don't feel like the products that are being released are worth the money or that they're anything special, or I do end up liking them. I don't know. That's why I don't call it an anti-haul, because sometimes I genuinely like some of these products and I might want to buy them, but I also just like ripping things to shreds and talking shit. So let's do that. So I'm just gonna pull up Trend Mood and talk about what I want to talk about, and I won't talk about what I don't want to talk about. KKW Beauty, Kim Kardashian, has lip kits now. I don't know if she's had them before. I don't follow this brand. I don't care about this brand, but why do these look the same? There's two that look almost exactly the same. I refuse to give money to Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner or any of the Kardashians, to be honest, because they don't care about the makeup that they release. They don't care about anything they do unless it's making them money. I mean, you can tell, like, this looks bad. It just literally looks bad. So not the quality. I'm sure the quality is fine. But yeah, this did not need to be released, did it? Nikita Dragun has a mascara. I appreciate that it's a really teeny tiny, thin little wand. I do like little wands like that for the lower lashes. She's wearing lashes in the photo. It's weird when false lashes are worn for a mascara advertisement. If you like to put your false lashes on first and then just blend your natural lashes in with mascara, then I feel like this might be a good product just because the wand is so tiny. I don't know. Overall, I don't really care about this. I don't care about Nikita Dragun's brand. Morphe has some new products. A palette. Is that a black lipstick? Cute. I don't know who this person is that is collaborating on this. Avani? Dude, I have no idea. Okay, so my thoughts on the palette. It's trendy, like for Morphe. I appreciate that Morphe is trying to lean more into trends instead of just trying to do their like private label thing. It started raining. I hope you can't hear the rain, but it did start raining. That is out of my control. I apologize. So this palette says wet your brush before you line, which implies to me that these little smaller pans on the bottom would be more of like a water activated liner. But then when you look at the swatch of them, they're just powder. You'd think that if you're swatching a product to show what it looks like, that you would apply it the way that it's meant to be applied, which would be like a water liner. So why, like, I'm confused about why the smaller pans exist at the bottom if it's not a different product. Like, why is it smaller and at the bottom? And if it is a different product, why is it in the same palette? Why isn't it two different palettes? The things that Morphe does make very little sense to me, and I do not like Morphe. I have given Morphe a couple chances and they all are disappointing. So stay away from Morphe. They kind of suck. Fenty Beauty has a blurring skin tint. That's cute. Okay. I like the packaging on this. Fenty Beauty always does really cute packaging. They definitely stand out and they definitely have like a really solidified like branding for sure. I've been kind of playing with the idea of getting something like a tinted moisturizer or a CC cream or something, just because I don't wear foundation. I never have. I've never liked it, but lately I have been finding myself using my concealer more. Like, rather than just concealing spots, I've been using it to kind of like hide redness and just kind of even out my skin tone in certain areas, and that's not how I want to use concealer, but I don't want a foundation. So this looks really good. The fact that it's $30 is fine. I mean, that's fair price for a high-end foundation product. And Fenty Beauty is consistently good quality, so I feel like that's a fair price, but just for me personally, I'd rather not spend that much money. I've heard really good things about the e.l.f. CC cream, so I think that I will try that, but I just scrolled over to look at, you know, more photos of this Fenty Beauty skin tint, and yikes, this shade range is abysmal. Okay, so I feel like I should rant about this now. Like, people talk all the time about shade range, and I feel like people don't always know what that means, or they're referencing something else instead of like a shade range. You know, people say, well, it's a good shade range because, you know, there's a lot of deeper skin tones, which is what's going on here. But this is not a good shade range, just factually, just objectively. This is a bad shade range. This is really disappointing because it's separated by light, light, medium, 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 deep, and deep. The light arm has 3 shades on it. And looking at it, I might be able to wear the lightest shade, but I probably wouldn't be able to. The shade range discussion usually comes up when people feel like there aren't enough deeper tones, which is fair. That is also a bad shade range. But a bad shade range impacts deeper skin tones as well as lighter skin tones. And I feel like that's not talked about enough. And like, just from my experience working in retail cosmetics when I used to work at a Macy's, the brand that I worked for literally didn't have a foundation for me to wear. We were required to wear that brand's makeup to work, and I couldn't. They didn't have a shade for me. It wasn't until I started working for MAC that I actually could get a foundation that fit me, because MAC's shade range, as much as I dislike MAC as a brand, their shade range is good. And up until this point, I feel like Fenty Beauty has been known for having a great shade range. And this is just very disappointing to see, because this isn't solving the problem of cosmetics brands only catering to medium skin tones. And that's not to say that I'm like unhappy with like the fact that there are so many options for the deep skin tones, because that is a real issue too, that like for so long deep skin tones were straight up just left out of the equation entirely. And I'm glad that that's not happening anymore, because so many people spoke up about that issue, that people with a deeper skin tone than just like a tan person couldn't get a foundation, and now they can. But I feel like the problem still has not been solved for the very fair skin tones. I'm just speaking from my experience. Like, I can go into Target and find a foundation that can work for me, but I won't be able to find one in every brand. And people with a deeper skin tone have that same problem. They can find one, but it might not be a formula that they want or that they like or that works for them. And people with really light skin tones have that same problem. I don't know, just for Fenty Beauty to release something that it's literally for like the light, medium, and deeper. This is not for light, the very fair, the pale. This is not for those people. The shade 2 and shade 3 would look straight up orange on me. The first one would probably look like a little too dark and a little too pink, just by what I'm seeing here. Ugh. I don't want anyone to get mad at me, because I feel like I don't want anyone to say like, well, here's a white girl complaining that a foundation doesn't match her. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna buy it anyway, so I'm not really that like impacted by this abysmal shade range, but it looks intentional that the light skin tone only has 3 options, and the last 2 options are literally too dark for a fair person. Yeah, so there's a really long thread on here in the comment section talking about this. It seems as if people, at least in this thread, somewhat agree with what I'm saying, and it's not fair for there to be an entire like shade range of people just excluded. It's not right. It's not right no matter who it's happening to. Come on, Fenty. You're known for your shade ranges, and to release this is disappointing. I'm gonna move on. Jimmy Choo has these nail polish bottles that are gorgeous. I do not care about the lipsticks whatsoever, but these nail polish bottles look really pretty, and that's all I'm gonna say about it, because I will never purchase a Jimmy Choo product ever in my life. How stupid, how wasteful, but oh my god, this looks so pretty. Too Faced has another teddy bear or something. Is teddy bear like a Too Faced thing, or is this like a special thing? I feel like Too Faced has done teddy bears before. I've never seen a Too Faced palette that I have thought looks interesting or good. Like, how many neutral palettes do we need? These kind of chunky shimmers look really pretty in the pan, but of course on the swatch they're just like any other shimmer. I just feel like Too Faced is not the brand for me. There are some people that love Too Faced and Tarte and those neutral like palettes that just keep getting released. It's just not for me. I don't care about the teddy bear. I don't care about Too Faced. I don't care about these neutrals. Time to move on. So here's a product that I'm gonna buy, or I'm gonna try to buy, or I'm gonna have to talk myself out of buying. The Lizzie McGuire collection from ColourPop. has me hooked. It's the nostalgia. They got me with this one. Lizzie McGuire was my favorite show growing up as like a little kid in elementary school. Hilary Duff was my idol. She was my everything. Even to this day, she's remained unproblematic. She's a goddess. She's a queen. She's an icon. And Lizzie McGuire is the only show that I watched back on Disney Plus when I got it. I of course watched like That's So Raven and other Disney shows that I grew up on, but Lizzie McGuire was the one show that I watched all the way through, like within the last year. This palette is stupid. What in the fucking hell? ColourPop has this thing that they do with their palettes where it looks like they created a really good palette and then they just desaturated it like 50%. I'm gonna take this palette that they're releasing and put it side by side with the same palette. I'm just gonna ramp up the saturation. I'm gonna put them side by side and you tell me which one looks better, because ColourPop can do it. They can put a good color story together. I don't know why they need to take a good color story and make it dusty and neutral. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. The higher saturated version, imagining what it would look like, is much more Lizzie McGuire, much more early 2000s Disney, much more exciting, inspirational, fun. The one they're releasing is okay. It's there. But I'm still probably gonna get it because it's Lizzie McGuire. I feel like if I don't buy this palette, I'm letting down my inner child. I'm letting down me 20 years ago. Is it that long ago? Maybe like 15. I don't know how long ago this was, but I do not care about the glosses. They're cute for an early 2000s vibe, but I do not care. I do not care about blushes. The glitters. I'm gonna try to get both of them. I love the ColourPop Glitterally Obsessed formula. It's the only glitter like product that I enjoy working with. It's my favorite way to use glitter. The ColourPop glitters are so good. Pat McGrath is releasing more unnecessary stuff. Some of the stuff that Pat McGrath releases is so pretty and it makes me so tempted, but they're not cruelty free, so I would never buy Pat McGrath in the first place. But if they were, Pat McGrath is the one luxury brand that I might drop some coin on because some of the palettes are just so pretty. But this shit that they're releasing, this like eyeglass, no one likes eyeglass. I shouldn't say that. I love the look of an eyeglass and I tried it on one time. I tried an eyeglass one time and it was like the worst thing I've ever felt on my eyes. The average person does not need to own an eyeglass because it's a stupid product. And then Pat McGrath keeps trying to release these lip kits with like glitter or sequins or gems, and I get it. It's a fun thing to do, but it's so expensive. What a waste of money. And they're not cruelty free, so that is that. Melt has cream blushes. These look really pretty. I really like the swatches of these cream blushes. The shade Honey Thief and Golden Hour, those look really beautiful. And if I had money, those are the ones that I would buy because I'm very interested in cream blush. But I just bought the e.l.f. Putty Blush in the lightest shade. I don't remember what it's called. So far, so good. I've only used it like twice, but if I can find a cream product that is less than $10 that works just fine, you're really gonna have a hard time convincing me that a $22 product is worth it when there's something less than half the price and just as good. But I do like Melt. I do think these look beautiful and I would love to try them, but you know, why would I do that? The Ordinary has some concealer. I love The Ordinary. I use their skincare. The Ordinary, they do it right. And they have these concealers. I know they already have foundation. I have obviously never tried that. I am interested in these concealers. They say they're full coverage, long wearing, and this is how you do a shade range right, okay? This is how you do it. Take notes. They have an undertone for each shade, and they go from very fair to very deep, and these all look like they were swatched on the same arm, probably more of like a medium toned arm. The lightest shade of concealer looks like it could probably work for me, maybe a little too dark. This is something I'd probably want to see in person. Now that I'm looking at it up close, I have it kind of zoomed in. It looks maybe a little deeper than what I usually go for concealer. It's $5.80. That's what I love about The Ordinary. They are focused on good ingredients, products that actually work. There's no fluff, there's no bullshit. They just give you a good product and it's very affordable. Okay, next, Sigma has a brush set, 9 brushes for $122. So it's about 14. It's $13.50, round up $14 with tax for each brush. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. The thing is that it comes in a set, so you can't really pick and choose. Like, $14 is a fair price for a brush, but unless you need 9 blending brushes, it's kind of a waste of money. These brushes look really good though. If I needed brushes, I would be tempted to buy something like this. I've never tried the Sigma brushes. These look like natural hair though, instead of synthetic. It's not too bad of a price, and you're getting a pretty good variety of brushes here. I like the ColourPop brushes, to be honest. I have quite a few of their brushes, and they're good, and they're really cheap. I also like the e.l.f. brushes that are solid black. They're really, really good. I'm not in the market for brushes. If I were, I would not buy these Sigma ones. I would buy ColourPop. But if you're cool with dropping some money, I feel like there's worse ways you could spend $122 if brushes are something you're after. Holo Taco, some nail polish. I really want to try Holo Taco. I've only heard great things about Holo Taco, and I'm getting into nails. Like, I do my nails weekly. I'm not great at them, but I try to do different colors, and I try to like paint little designs on them, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. These are $11 each or $40 for all 4. That's a really fair price for nail polish. Usually the ones that I buy are around the $10 mark because I go for the cruelty-free brands, and those just tend to be a little bit more expensive. I like this gray shade. Out of all of these, the yellow is cute, but I feel like I would use the gray a lot. Dominique Cosmetics has a palette and some glosses. The palette looks cute, kind of rosy. I feel like this palette would have been better released maybe like in the beginning of February for Valentine's Day. Yikes, that glitter is chunky in this swatch. Usually when you see glitter in a swatch like this, it looks good in the swatch, but it's like harder to use on your eye. When I see a pressed glitter that swatches like this, I know it's gonna be shitty. So that's disappointing. The rest of these look really pretty, and the glosses look all right, and I have no further feelings about that. The Jacqueline lips. Okay, this is a hot topic, and here's my opinions about it. Jaclyn Hill is not a person that I've ever followed on any social media platform. I've never cared about Jaclyn Hill. I've seen like 3 of her videos. She's not someone that I followed growing up. You know, I didn't learn makeup by watching her like a lot of people. Jaclyn Hill is just not my vibe, you know? And that's fine. I say this because I am not a fan of Jaclyn Hill. And so coming from someone who has no real opinions about her, never been a fan of her, she does not deserve the hate that she gets. And she did not deserve to be canceled and hated on so bad for Lipstick Gate. Because does anyone think that she wanted that to happen? Does anyone think that she wanted her initial launch of her new brand to go that way? Does anyone think that she didn't do any of her own quality control and things were fine when she looked at them? The way that I understand like her business ownership, I could be wrong because there's a lot that goes into this type of stuff, but she is not the sole owner of her brand. There's investors, there's other people involved with just as much authority, just as much ownership, just as much say in what goes on as Jaclyn. She is not completely responsible for the shit that goes wrong, and she handled that situation, in my opinion, really well. She apologized. She gave refunds to everybody. She offered as much of an explanation as she could. I don't think anything shady happened on her end. And I feel like it's not fair that so many people shit on her for that. Because that was something that was life ruining, career ruining, you know what I mean? She did not intend for any of that to happen. And I just feel bad that she seems to have a lot of bad luck. That being said, I saw a video one time of somebody kind of breaking down her past. And apparently her dad is like a cult leader, or he's like the head of some kind of church or something. I don't know what's going on there. These lip liners look really pretty. These lipsticks look really pretty. I think launching like a liquid lipstick is a weird move. I feel like people are pretty over liquid lipsticks. Apparently these are more of like a satin finish. They don't dry down totally matte, but I feel like people aren't really after this type of product right now. But the lip liners look really pretty. I'm not interested in this makeup, but I just feel bad for her. Let's move on from that. This ColourPop Limoncello collection looks cute for early summer. That's the good thing I'll say about it. The rest of it, this is another really good example of ColourPop taking something that could be really fucking gorgeous. I'm talking about the eyeshadow palette, and just desaturating it. I wish they wouldn't do that. For fun, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the Lizzie McGuire one. I'm just gonna like screenshot it and bump up the saturation. I'm gonna put them side by side and put them here. I don't know what it looks like yet, but I can imagine that it looks the way it fucking should. Oh, the brushes look nice. I was just talking about ColourPop brushes. I like their brushes. This is a brush set. 5 brushes for $11 basically. Go for it. The brush set, that is like the one thing in this collection that I can get behind. Palette looks desaturated and shitty. The blush sticks look cute. The glosses look cute. Oh yeah, they have shadow sticks. They're launching shadow sticks now. I'm pretty sure shadow sticks are new for ColourPop. Is this the first time they're releasing them? I have never noticed them before. And if I have forgotten completely about them, but I like that. I like that ColourPop is doing shadow sticks. I wish they would not have done 2 golds that look identical. I wish they would have tried to do more of like a bright matte yellow. I can imagine that a bright matte yellow is probably hard to formulate in that type of product. This is a cute collection overall. The packaging looks very bright, summery, whatever, but maybe this is just a me thing. But the first thing it made me think of is when I was a kid and I'd go to my friends' houses whose family had more money. I feel like this like pattern or this vibe is what my friends' rich moms used to decorate their kitchens like. This was like the move in like the 2000s for rich housewives. Like this is what my friends' kitchens used to look like. So it made me think of that. That's all I have to say about it. There's absolutely nothing in this collection that makes me wanna buy anything. This pastel palette from Give Me Glow, Pastel Dreams, looks gorgeous. This is how you do a pastel palette. You've got a matte and a shimmer for each shade. This palette looks so good. I've never tried Give Me Glow, but I've heard that it's great. I have never heard a bad thing about Give Me Glow. This palette looks amazing. That being said, it is $54. And just based on this picture that I'm seeing, like the palette in someone's hand, these pans look rather large. They look definitely larger than the average pan. Is that a Give Me Glow thing? Why are we releasing giant palettes that nobody's asking for? I'm pretty sure we can all agree that the smaller the better, right? There will never be a situation where anybody needs to go through pastel shades so much that they require a large pan. That palette must be huge, right? And the pan sizes are huge for absolutely no reason. So here's the Creepy Cute palette from Shroud. A lot of these shades that are in this palette also exist in this Give Me Glow palette, but this is all matte. And usually when you have a pastel palette, it's all matte. So I really love the idea of having a matte and shimmer pastel palette. Why is it so big? I'm having a hard time processing this because now that I'm seeing it, like there's another picture where somebody has the shimmers on their fingers and they have their hand over the palette, and it looks so big. And it's $54 because of how big it is. I feel like you could cut this in half, shrink it in half, and make it $30. You know what I mean? I would rather pay more per ounce and have a smaller palette. Financially, it makes more sense to have it the way it is, but I'd rather spend less money on far less product. I really want to try Give Me Glow, but I don't want a giant palette like that, and I don't want to spend that much money. Sol de Janeiro has a new body cream, the Bom Dia Bright Cream. I feel like for things like body cream, it's presented to the consumer as more of a choose your favorite fragrance. And I appreciate that Sol de Janeiro has 3 different options for like a skin needs. I really still do want to try the Brazilian Bum Bum Cream just because Raw Beauty Christie said that it's good. So that's the only reason why I want to try it. Lime Crime has a lip oil. That's useless. This picture looks so pretty, so glossy, so nice, but then in 2.5 minutes it's gonna all be gone. That's what lip oils do. They just go away. They don't even moisturize. They just kind of sit there for a minute and then they just like go away. I do not appreciate lip oils. Okay, I feel like I'm scrolling a lot. There's not a lot of stuff that is interesting to me. So I'm gonna land on this Natasha Denona palette, and this will be the last thing I talk about because I do have feelings about this. Why the fuck is it $130 and it looks like something Makeup Revolution would sell for $16.99? Riddle me that. I have never even touched or held or seen or experienced a Natasha Denona palette in person. I can say with confidence that Natasha Denona is overrated. And I can say that with confidence because there is absolutely no reason on this planet, there's nothing, no reason, no justification for this or any of her other products costing over $100. Especially considering that I've seen multiple reviews of many Natasha Denona palettes. I used to be kind of interested in the brand and they're always hit or miss. It works if you can make it work, but for an $130 palette, you shouldn't have to make it work. It should be impeccable. It should be inspiring and mind-blowing. The color story should be fully thought out. It should be organized in an inspiring way in the palette. This looks jumbled. The concept is cute, this like circus concept. The shade names are cute, but fuck you, Natasha Denona. So after scrolling a little more through these photos, somebody took all of the cool shades and swatched them together and then swatched all of the warm shades together. And in that way, it's really pretty. It looks cute. Does it look revolutionary? No. Does it look worth $130? Fucking no. But it makes more sense when you see the cool together and the warm together. So then when you look at the palette itself, all of that goes away. The way that they've organized these shades in this palette makes absolutely no sense, and I'm so tired of brands thinking that they can just like throw shit together and that is gonna be good enough. Well, that's all I feel like I want to talk about. Let me know your thoughts on what I talked about. Maybe I'm wrong for some things. Like for sure, I do know that I might be wrong because I kind of shit talk a lot of products that I've never actually tried. So let me know your thoughts. All of my social media will be linked down below if you're interested. I post all the time on my other social medias, so let's be friends. And as always, I just want to say thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.